there is shadow under this red rock. Come in under the shadow of this red rock. And I will show you something different. From either your shadow at morning striding behind you, or your shadow at evening rising to meet you. I will show you fear in a handful of dust.
Oh, God. Just want to lay down. Can't lay down. Just can't lay down.
Nate! Nate!
Sorry.
Wake up.
Help me.
Come on, give me a hand.
I've been looking for you. Couldn't find you. I don't know how long I've been out here, but I think... Sully? Sully? Okay. I can do this. I can do this. Sully? Oh, it's there. Sully! Oh, thank God. It's a village. Please don't let that have been a mirage. No. Oh, shit. It's a ghost town. All right, let's check it out. At least it's real. Let's try through here. Didn't need that. Thank God it will. Okay. Damn it. Damn it, it's dry. Here we go. Shh. It's undrinkable. Okay, don't give up. There's gotta be something useful here. Oh, shit!
It's strike!
Okay, need a gun. What are Marlowe's men doing here? Oh boy.
Him.
No! No crap!
Find him! I lost him!
This is getting ridiculous. This'll help. There's gotta be a way out of here.
Watch out!
He's out of ammo! This'll come in handy. There you go. Little something for you! Okay. Hopefully that's the last time. Crap. How did that come from? this'll help. Oh, God, it's hot. Snipers! Oh, there's just too many of them. What was that?
English?
What? English, I speak English. No. Don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me.
تعال عدو شيلوا
يلا تعالوا انتوا ماشيين على البوابة
يلا تعال سنايبر واحد فوق
No. Shit. I gotta get the hell out of here.
انتبه انا ماشي
اضرب على اليمين اسرع نار RPG
Hey. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, but... Damn, I was sure they'd killed you, kid.
Well, they tried, right?
So how the hell did you find me all the way out here?
I had some help.
Salim,
Sullivan, thank you.
we haven't much time. We cannot allow them to reach the city.
Oh, I don't know
He's
if...
right, Nate. I've been trapped with those crazy bastards for days. I don't know what the hell it is Marlowe's after exactly, but it sure as hell ain't treasure. We gotta stop them.
Drake, we must go, now. Yalla!
Never a dull moment, huh, Sully?
Why change now?
Yeah!
There! Straight ahead!
Into the storm? Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Trust me, Drake! Trust me!
Salim!
Drake, where are you?
Sully! Sully, stay close!
Where's Celine?
Must have lost him!
It's no good. Let him go.
Must know something we don't. It's the convoy. Hang back, Sully. I'll go check it out.
You got it.
How are we gonna find anybody in this storm?
He's down.
Look out! This can't be the whole convoy. There's not enough of them.
Must have gotten separated from the storm. crap!
Oh, no!
We got him!
This'll help.
Watch out! Hey, get an RPG! Get an RPG and take those trucks out! Look out!
Great. Perfect. That's all of it. So we're there. This is it. Come on, let's get inside.
Holy shit.
Wow. Look at this place.
So it really does exist.
It's amazing.
hate to have to polish this.
It's enormous. It's no good.
Well, that's gotta be the way in, but it's sealed shut.
There must be some mechanism to open it. We just gotta find it. Let's look around.
Oh, hey, I managed to swipe your notebook back off Marlowe. Figured it might come in handy.
Still got it. Sully, up here. I found something. Stop.
Nate, there's one on the other side.
I'll go see if I can get that one working. You wait here.
Nate, you gotta get on that other switch.
Almost there. Ready? Go!
It worked.
In the words of Victor Sullivan, I'll be go to hell. Holy shit. It's true, it's really... Welcome to Ubar. Another dead end.
Jesus, how the hell we get down from here? incredible.
This is how the city could thrive all the way out here. The whole place must be fed by an underground spring. It's clean. It's amazing it's still running after all these years.
Now that's a hell of a thing. What?
No. No. Please. Sully.
Okay.
Helmet! Come back here, you son of a bitch! You're dead! You hear me? You're dead! You come back here, you...
Where did he go? This isn't possible. Where the hell am I? This is Cartagena. I haven't been here since I was a kid. What's going on with me? Oh shit. Oh no. Oh no! This can't be happening.
Whoa, no! What? No. 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 No!
No. Stay away, please. Oh, God. Oh, no. What is this? Everything's moving. I gotta get out. Gotta get out of here. No, no, no. No. Can't do this. What is this? What's happening? There's no way out. There's no way out. Oh no. I'm gonna kill him. Killed Sully. I'll kill you. Kill Sully. Fire teams. Killed Sully. Oh, no, it can't be real. It can't be real. Fire teams. Smokeless fire. Just kill him. Fire teams. Smokeless fire. Just kill him. Killed Sully. Oh, it can't be real. Can't be real. Fire teams. Smokeless fire. Oh, no, it can't be real. Real. Get out. Get out. Fire teams. Smokeless fire. Just kill him. Killed Sully. Oh, no, it can't be real. Can't be real. Get out. Get out. Fire teams. Smokeless fire. Just kill him. Oh, it can't be real. Can't be real. Get out. Get out. Fire teams. Smokeless fire. Just kill him. Killed Sully. Oh, no, it can't be real. Can't be real. Sully? Sully! Hey, Sully! No, he's dead. Sully, no. What the? Oh my god. Oh, there they are. Time to play, assholes.
It's over, Drake.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Back up! I got you! Find it! Keep looking for him!
No, no, no.
Clear out!
All right? Man, I had a hell of a time. What's the matter with you?
How do I know you're real?
Ow! That real enough for you? Don't ever point a gun at me again.
saw them shoot you. Right after the eclipse.
What? What eclipse? Look, kid, you went nuts right after you drank from that fountain. It's the water. That's what destroyed the city. Not the wrath of God. The whole water supply is tainted with some sort of hallucinogenic agent. Must have drove everyone mad.
That's what Marlowe and Talbot are after.
Oh, man, yeah. Remember, Cutter said they controlled their enemies through fear. This'll do it. In spades. But, wait, it doesn't make any sense. How do they think they're getting the water out of here?
No, it's not the water. It's what's in the water.
Come again?
All right, listen, just bear with me for a sec. Salim told me that Aram was cursed when Solomon imprisoned the evil spirits of the jinn inside a vessel of brass and then cast it into the depths of the city.
A genie in a bottle.
I know, it sounds pretty crazy.
So you reckon that's why Elizabeth and Dee sent Francis Drake out here in the first place?
Yeah. It wasn't treasure they were after. It was power. Only once Drake realized what he'd been sent for, he abandoned the mission. He lied to the Queen, told her he didn't find anything, and then hid all traces of his voyage. Rewrote history.
Well, who are we to argue with Sir Francis? What do you say we head down there and end this thing? Once and for all.
Look at this place. The whole city's resting on this cavern. Doesn't look very safe, does it?
That's an understatement.
We gotta find a way down there.
This is gonna get hairy. You ready for this?
Let's do it. Amazing. This is how they move the water to the surface.
God. Look at the ceiling here.
I'm surprised the whole place hasn't come crashing down yet.
I don't know how the hell it's still standing.
We gotta get across there. Help me with this door. Shit, get down! Oh boy. All right, all clear. Down this way. Ah, crap! Sully, we got more company!
We've got them trapped.
All right.
We've got them trapped.
Okay. All right.
Nate!
There we go. This'll help.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Hunt him down.
Let's see what they're up to.
They're definitely going into the water.
Hey. Sweet. I'm holding on to this.
Sully, help me with this. We gotta get through here.
Careful! Lift it gently.
You gotta be kidding me. Well, they sure as hell got us outnumbered. Let's split up. Try to flank them.
Yeah, better odds that way. Damn it, where is he? Sully! Sully! No! We've gotta go! Run! Come on, son! Get up! Come on! Please tell me you didn't swallow any of that water.
I don't think so. Jesus. This is why we can't have nice things.
Come on, we gotta move.
I have a nickel.
Keep them away from Marlowe!
Everybody out! What's with these guys? Don't they know we're gonna get buried here?
That tells me they don't care.
I sure as hell do.
Keep collapsing! We have to get out of here! Fall back! Keep moving! Sully, this way! We gotta get out of here! Come on, I need your help. Crap! Forward, get down! Just what the doctor ordered. Whoa, whoa. Don't. All right.
Sully, up this way! How are we gonna get out of here? Wait, the gears! Sully, we're gonna have to ride these up, alright? Up here! Look out! This is the way out!
You! Drake! Mono! I can't reach! Come on, kid. I'll pull you up.
Nathan! Drake! Are you worthy of the name? Earn this, as Francis earned it from Elizabeth. Prove your greatness.
I got nothing to prove.
Hurry! Give me a hand! You can't just let her die! The hell he can't! Nate, give me your goddamn hand!
Here!
Grab it! What the hell are you doing?
I can't.
It's no good! Get the hell out of there! Hold on! No! Nate! No! Come on!
Run!
Up here! Hurry it up!
Sully, we gotta get out of here! The whole place is coming down!
3 goddamn bullets? How the hell did you do this with 3 bullets? Holy shit! Run! Come on!
Giant sinkhole!
Go! Quick! Keep going!
Gotta get higher! We're all
My God.
يلا وي.
Crap. This is really not good. Hold on! Nathan! They're gaining on us! I know! Well, crank it! Sam, I'm going as fast as I can! Shit. Keep heading towards the island. I'll try to hold them off. Ah, shit! Here they come! They got smaller boats! Ram them! Got it! Hey, assholes! Tell your bosses to find their own damn treasure! Not doing much damage here! Just keep at bay! Down you go! Big boat! Big boat! God damn it, they're dropping lines! I see them! Keep heading towards you! Don't let them get in front of you! Nathan! Hey! I'm okay! Okay! Shit, the engine's out! What? I can fix it! Just come on! God damn it! Come on! Doesn't matter who walks out! Grenade launcher! Mission and barrel! Oh, shit! Tom is a bitch! Damn it! More coming! Oh, shit. There goes the engine! There, I got it! Working? Yeah, come on! Get us out of here! Head straight to the island! Nathan! Rock! Dead ahead! You can barely see out there! Shit! Head straight to the island! Nathan! Rock! Dead ahead! You can barely see out there! Shit! Get them off of us! Doing the best I can here! Nathan, hurry! Just hang on! On your right!
The problem. I told you to leave those books in your room. You only have yourself to blame.
Doesn't give him the right to just snatch it from me.
Does that give you the right to start throwing punches?
wasn't just about the book.
What was it then?
Nothing. I'll save it for confession.
No matter what I try, you seem insistent on going down the same sad road as your brother. What a waste.
Sam! I see you. Up and around we go. Whoa! Too slippery. Crap. Not this way. Okay, nice and quiet.
Isn't it our job to help boys like him?
In the meantime, I'm neglecting the other dozen boys under my care.
What do you want me to do?
You know my opinion.
I'm not ready to give up on him yet.
You can't keep avoiding it.
Look, I'll talk to him in the morning, okay?
Good night, Father.
Good night, Sister Catherine.
Gotta get to that window.
Nathan, you're in big trouble.
Gotta get to that window. Come on. Move it, sister.
Nathan! Come with me, young man.
Sister Catherine?
Darn.
Sister Catherine, I've forgotten my keys again. Can you open the gate for me?
Coming, Father.
Come on.
Sam?
Ooh, you gotta learn to watch your back.
All right.
Hey, it's good to see you, little brother. What is that? Really? Again?
It's nothing.
You told me you'd stay out of trouble, though.
He was talking shit about us.
So?
He said that Dad dumped us here because we're worthless, and Mom is in hell because...
Nathan, come on. They're just saying it because it gets to you, all right? You just gotta learn to laugh it off.
You wouldn't.
Well, do as I say, not as I do. Here. You'll catch a cold.
So, what are you doing here like this anyway? If the nuns catch you, they're gonna call the cops.
Well, I got something for you, and I couldn't wait till Christmas.
What?
It's outside.
What happened to us staying out of trouble?
This is an exception.
Mm-hmm. Nice jump.
Come on. Yeah, give me... Sheesh, you're right. The sister's feeding you enough. The place is kind of empty. Where's everyone?
Some Bible retreat.
Yeesh. I remember those. How's Father Duffy doing?
He's the one decent guy in there. You should come and say hi.
Nah, I don't need the gift. This way. We're getting there. That was easy. Damn.
You didn't prop it.
I did. At least I thought I did. No, it doesn't matter. We're gonna take the high road.
The high road?
Just follow me. Watch this.
Whoa.
And now, we take the high road.
Have you done this before?
Once or twice. Here, come on. Your turn.
So, what you been up to?
Working mostly.
You still dating that girl?
Oh, Crystal? On again, off again. Currently off again. Okay. No guts. No glory. Whoa, whoa. Just don't think about it. You got this. I gotcha. See? No big deal.
Yeah. Nothing to it.
Stay with me. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, totally.
Through here.
Right behind you.
There's a jump coming up.
Okay.
Okay. Right down the middle. Nice and easy.
Nice and easy.
Oops. Was that a sin? I think that's a sin. You ready, Tarzan?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Up the steeple. Come on.
I can't jump that high.
Just go around the corner. It's a nice view, huh?
Yeah. Not bad. You ever been up here before?
This particular roof? No.
But you do know where you're going, right?
More or less. You wait here, and you watch me. Your turn.
Okay. You got this. You got this, Nate.
All right, go ahead. Just don't overthink it.
Oh, crap!
Ah, that's it! Come on.
I did it.
Of course you did. Here, follow me. You know what? How about you take this one?
Really?
Yeah, really. I'll follow your lead. Attaboy, Nathan.
Okay. Whoa! Okay.
Now, head down. Just like that, we're out.
All right.
Check it out. Huh?
Whoa, you got the 250?
250? What are you talking about? No, this is the 500cc twin.
No way.
Yeah.
Where'd you lift it from?
Whoa. That's a low blow. But hey, I'll have you know that I am a changed man. Bought this with hard-earned cash. Here, come on, take a seat. What?
The only time you pull a stunt like this is when you're trying to make up for something.
You are too smart for your own good, you know that? All right. I got this job. Pays well. Really well. But, I gotta leave town for a little bit.
What's a little bit?
Like, a year. At the most, and then I'll be back before you even know it, all right?
You're bailing on me.
Come on, don't be so dramatic.
What, so it wasn't bad enough to leave me in that place? How could you do this to me, Sam?
Wait, I'm doing this for you. The money I make is for the both of us. And then in a couple of years, when you're out...
Years? Take me with you.
I can barely support myself.
I'll pitch in.
I know you think the orphanage sucks.
You have no idea.
Yeah, but it's the best thing for you right now. All right? Just gotta trust me on that one.
It's not fair.
Hey, nothing about our lives has been fair. But we've made it work, right?
Sure.
Well, you know, the bike wasn't the only surprise. And I guess I'm gonna have to ruin the next one.
What?
I found Mom's stuff. Everything that Dad sold, I tracked down the buyer.
If you're saying this just to make me feel better...
I swear to God.
Where?
Yeah. On the other side of town. What do you say we go and get it back?
You mean steal it?
It's not stealing if it was ours to begin with.
I'm pretty sure the cops aren't gonna see it that way.
Well, then let's not get caught. You ready for this?
Hell yeah.
Esto va a estar más fácil de lo que esperaba, ¿eh?
You're gonna have to do it better than that, pal.
Acabemos con esto.
Let's go.
¡Dale una paliza! Chingada, este gringo sabe pelear, ¿eh? ¡Elimínalo! A ver cómo te sales de esta, cabrón. ¡Rómpele el brazo! ¿Qué tal esto?
Asshole, let go of me!
¡Agárrenmelo!
¡Sin dientes! ¡Es que este tipo te gane! ¡Vamos!
Gracias, sport.
¡Toma esto, pendejo! ¡Estás muerto!
I got you now.
¡Rómpele el cráneo, amigo!
Derrota ese gringo, amigo.
¡Sí, Gustavo!
¡Vívalo!
Esto es por meterte con nosotros.
¡Puedes hacerlo!
Ahora sí, pendejo.
Acaba con
Te
él.
vas a arrepentir.
¡Vuelve ahí!
¡Sí, Gustavo!
Shit!
¡Te voy a matar, come mierda! Te voy a cerrar la bocota, gringo.
Get off of me!
¡Ya basta! ¡Dale una paliza!
All right. My turn.
¡Agarrate, idiota! ¡Suéltame!
Hey, we weren't fighting. Huh? Right, little guy?
Te voy a matar, gringo, come mierda.
Hey, give me a call when you're tall enough to ride the rides.
Te voy a sacar tiras por el culo.
¡Solitaria! ¡Cállalo!
Te voy a estar esperando aquí, ¿eh?
Abre.
Come on. How long am I supposed to be in here? Huh? Where's the toilet?
You looking at it? Have fun.
I will. Gracias.
Get up.
Man, I was having a great dream, too. Ah, hey. All right, easy. Ah. All right, cálmate.
Por favor. No me dejes allá adentro de nuevo. Por tu culpa, pendejo.
Hey, any chance I can take a shower?
Cállate.
Morning, boys. Or is it the evening? It's hard to tell down here.
Oye, idiota. Get up the stairs. Viene saliendo un prisionero. Abran la reja.
Hey, nice to see you. Right. Humid.
Ah, welcome to Panama.
¡Ey, gringo! Vi lo que hiciste a Gustavo.
Tengo un cuchillo que tiene tu nombre, amigo. Te lo
Hey,
mostraré
Vargas.
cuando regreses.
Déjanoslo a nosotros. Nos encargamos.
Looks like you have some fans. Abre la reja.
¿A dónde lo llevas?
Es una sorpresa.
Diviértete.
I do speak a little Spanish, you know. Wait, what did you say?
You'll find out soon enough.
Te lo advertí, pero no escuchaste.
¿Qué está mirando?
Nada, amigo. Nothing.
Atrás. De este me encargo yo.
Bien.
Where are you taking me anyway?
You'll see. No, no. Not that way.
Oh, all right.
After you.
Yeah, this isn't sketchy at all. Hey, you know, this doesn't look like the warden's office.
Go left.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Through there.
Through here?
Here we are.
All right. Hey, take these cuffs off or what?
I want in.
In?
Whatever you hope to find up there, I want in.
Now, come on, Vargas. The deal was just to get us in and out of here. That's it.
Just? I'm sticking my neck out for you gringos.
Yeah, and Rafe is paying you a lot of money for your trouble.
See? But not nearly enough.
You were told not to open that.
Yes. I was also told not to take bribes, not to bring anyone here, and not to beat on my inmates. But here we are.
Just be careful with that. It's 300 years old.
I was a member of Captain Henry Avery's crew. You know who that is?
He was a pirate.
The pirate who pulled off the biggest heist in history and got away with it. I looked him up.
That's great.
Over $400 million worth of gold and jewels, all from one single ship. The Gunsway.
Yeah. I'm familiar with the story. Can you get to the point?
I occupied the highest cell in the Spaniards' prison. Here. I hope someday you will find your way into this infernal place, bear my cross, and discover the riches of paradise.
What? What do you want?
The riches of paradise.
Oh, it's a metaphor.
No. You and your friends did not pay to get into this infernal place in search of a metaphor. I want in.
Right. I'll tell you what. Let me go up there, check out the prison cell. If there's still anything there after 300 years, you can take this up with Rafe. Now, come on. Letter. Por favor.
How you gonna get up there anyways?
Climb. Oh, unless, of course, you want to do it, since you want in and all.
Just don't break your neck.
That's the plan. Hey, did you bring what I asked?
Yeah. Eat it just over there. Under the work table. By the crates.
Great, thanks. There we go, piece of cake. Bingo. Now we're in business. All right, this should do the trick. Here we go. Looks like I can slide down there. Look on that post. Wait till Sam hears about this. Onward and upward. Now, I've got to find the highest cell.
Oh, shit!
These Burns had a nice view before he was executed. Hard to believe there were dozens of Burns holed up in here, just waiting to be hanged. Okay, where to? Yeesh. I thought the modern prison was bad. Alright, not gonna lie. This is pretty awesome. Oh man, Sam is missing out. Here we go. Burns' cell. Cell? More like a suite. Okay. Where to begin? All these squiggles and scratches must mean something. Sun and moon. Alchemy symbols for gold and silver. Wait a sec. I saw something like this on the letter. Huh. Well, that's part of the symbol. Ah. There's the other half. Now then. That's more like it. Okay, got a zodiac symbol. Sagittarius. And the Scorpio sign. That's not it. 10 and 2. X and II. Would you look at that? Digna factis recipimus. Guess this is it. All right. Time to head back. Come on. Gotta watch that first step. Down we go. Huh. Now what? Whoa! Down we go. Huh. Down we go. Huh. Now what? Yeah, see Rafe do that. There goes my shoulder. There's Vargas. I want a cut. I want in. I'll give you in. Oh, crap. No, no, no. Whoa! Oh, crap. No, 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 no. Whoa! Made it. Now we're talking.
You made it. What'd you find? Drake? What?
Place was picked clean. If there's a clue hidden up there somewhere, I couldn't find it.
Are you sure? Were you looking in the right place?
Maybe I missed something in the letter. There could have been another tower that collapsed centuries ago.
Mierda.
Blueprints?
Could be. There's a bunch of old files.
Okay, great. Go look through those, okay? See what you can dig up. Meanwhile, I'll talk to Sam. He's our Avery expert. Maybe he can make sense of this whole mess.
Right. I'll look through the files.
Yeah.
Turn around.
Yeah.
When you're done talking to him, come and find me.
You got it.
Gringo, if I catch you fighting one more time, 1 week in the hole for you.
It's a nice acting, Vargas. Almost as good as mine.
Qué puedo decir, ¿eh? Suerte de principiante, ¿verdad? Hijo de puta. Lo siento, chicos. Tengo que irme. Claro, te vas cuando estás ganando. Para ti, ¿eh? Jesus, they worked you over good. You all right?
Just another day at the office. Come on.
Hey, whoa. You're gonna keep me in suspense, are you?
You were right.
No, we were right.
No.
You just gotta find Rafe.
No, Rafe.
Don't start, please.
Oh, come on. Like you said, we did this. You and me. Now this rich asshole comes in on the tail end?
How long have we been trying to get in here?
We had some leads.
No, we didn't. Okay, not one. So like it or not, no Rafe, no Vargas, and no getting in here.
Speaking of Vargas, we got a problem.
What kind of problem? Did he let you into the old prison?
Yeah, he did.
All right.
After he read the letter.
So how much does he know?
Enough that he wants a cut.
Yeah, shit. Rafe, if anybody else finds out about this...
I'll work it out with Vargas. Don't sweat it. Right now, let's get on to more important matters.
All right. Let's find somewhere a little more, private.
Yeah.
All right, coast is clear.
Okay, so what do we got?
Oh, shit.
Huh? Hey.
May I?
Just be careful, okay?
Wood with gold and silver inlay. It's well made. It's hollow. Why would one of Avery's men go through the trouble of hiding a cheap crucifix?
It's not a crucifix. Technically, a crucifix is a representation of Jesus. It's not Jesus.
Well, you're right. There's no crown of thorns. He's tied to the cross. Well, if it's not Jesus, then...
Read the inscription.
Digna factus recipimus. We receive...
We receive the due rewards of our deeds.
Yeah. Look at you.
That's a benefit of growing up in a Catholic orphanage. That's St. Dismas.
Yeah, the penitent thief. What's the connection?
Guys, let's just pretend I skipped all of Sunday school.
Okay, during the crucifixion, Jesus is placed between two thieves, okay? One of them mocked Jesus. The other one, this guy, was penitent. Okay? He accepted his punishment with grace.
And Jesus brought him to paradise.
Penitent thief.
Yeah. What? You figured it out?
There is a cathedral of St. Dismas in Scotland.
Wait, the last sighting of Avery was in Scotland.
That can't be a coincidence.
No.
You know, I had my doubts about you too, but Let's find Vargas. Get the hell out of this shithole. Oh. Let me guess, this is the guy you picked a fight with?
Didn't know he had so many friends.
Le dije que no hayamos terminado.
Mira, ya nos ganaste, ¿ok?
Muy tarde para hablar. ¡Aquí no sales!
Hey, you know what?
Tú no te metas.
Okay.
Jesus, did you have to pick on the most popular guy in this joint?
I didn't hear you volunteer.
Guys, save it for later.
Siéntate!
Nathan, I got a present for you.
Buenas noches.
Come here, you.
How you doing, little brother?
I'm good for now.
Remember, jab, jab, strike. Jab, jab, strike. Nice work. Going somewhere? Gotcha.
¡Mándenlos al infierno!
You're going, asshole.
Good work. Rest, little brother.
That worked out well.
Good work.
Hora de irse, gringo.
Sam! Some help here!
Get off!
¿Estás muerto?
Hey, get off! Ay, espera!
Ya basta de hablar.
Alguien más necesita que le recuerde las reglas. ¡Alíñense!
¿Qué es esto? ¿Eh?
Dame. Are you bringing in contraband?
Vargas.
¡Cállate! Who do you think you are? Llévalo a su celda. Trae a los gringos a mi oficina. Déjanos. Déjennos.
Took you long enough. We almost got killed, you know?
You still might.
Vargas? Seriously?
Oh, I didn't find anything. It must be in a different tower. Well?
What can I say? I was raised Catholic. I always carry one.
Funny.
Hey, look. It's worthless, all right?
You think I'm an idiot?
Okay, you want to renegotiate, fine. Stop acting like a third-world thug. Put the gun away. Thank you. We're willing to give you 10%.
Think half.
We're doing most of the work, 20, and you'd never find it without us.
25 equals
25. Does that sound fair, guys?
Suppose I can live with that.
Sure. I mean, 400 million divides nicely by 4.
Looks like we have a deal.
Yes, we have a deal. And if you ever cross me again...
Jesus.
That's that.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
You want to find out?
Guys, what are we doing here?
We're sticking to the plan.
Was this part of the plan?
Just follow me.
Come on. Come on!
God damn it.
Rafe, where are we going here?
The lighthouse. Vargas said the boat is right under the lighthouse.
But which way?
I don't know. We'll get outside and figure it out. Shit! Dead end!
The window! Nathan, give me a hand!
Hurry up!
There, go! You got it! Let's go! Come on!
I don't see the lighthouse.
Right now, let's just get away from the guards.
Down this way! Through here! Oh, God! Keep going! Watch yourself!
Oh, crap!
Over there! To the left! Alto! This way. No, wait. Over here. Come on, come on! Damn it! It's locked.
Guys, we can climb this. Shit! Another dead end.
Come on, Sam. Ready? And...
Let's go.
Yeah, after you.
Over the roof. Follow me.
Are you sure?
Yes. Come on, move it.
Seriously?
Nathan!
¡Dale una paliza a esos idiotas!
Let's clean house! All right, we need to catch up with Ray. Quickly.
I thought you trusted him.
I do. To a point.
He's gonna leave without us, isn't he?
Not if we're quick. Come on. After you. ¿Dónde coño se fueron?
They're everywhere.
Fine, just keep going.
Okay, looks clear.
God damn it, this place is like a maze.
Yeah, it's like they don't want us to leave or something.
Hola, amigo. Right. Good to see you. Pick down that ladder for us.
We're close. There's the lighthouse. Like I said, stick to the plan.
Let's celebrate yet. That's right. Just keep searching over there. Don't mind us. There it is.
Come on! And don't drop the cross.
Now. I got it. Sam! Come on! I'll pull you up! I got you! Come on! Sam, no. No, you hold on! Hold on! Sam! Give me your other arm! Come on, reach! No! Sam!
We gotta move.
Oh, no, he's still down there.
No, he's gone. Come on, the boat's just beyond the wall.
No, I can't. Can't leave him behind.
Nate! Your brother is dead. Either come with me or join him.
Just have it your way.
Sam. Oh, God, no. No. Sam. Oh, God, no. No. Shit. I'm coming. Keep coming.
Yee. One of the stranger things I've collected along the years. Spanish doubloon found in a German U-boat in the middle of a jungle. Who would have thunk? Sir Francis Drake takes a bullet for Sully. Look at us. Shambhala. Miss you, pal. So many men killed each other for a piece of this. Nah. Yeah. Thanks for nothing, St. Dismas. Yeah. Here they come. Take cover. I'm surrounded. Bullseye. Don't let him flank you, Nate. Take that. All right. And that. Eat plastic. Back in business. I gotta keep moving. Gotcha. No, I'm out of ammo. Yeah, I'll be right there.
Like a pro.
Yeah, bring it. Well, playtime's over. Not really my style anymore. Now this was a crazy ride. Another lifetime, Chloe. Oh, is this what you're working on? It was a early 21st century truck we got. Apparently the natives called it a semi.
Oh, dear Lord.
Kind of stuff. So, boring stuff. Tell me about the article.
Well, it started out as this fluff piece about tourism in Bangkok, but I don't think the magazine is gonna like the angle that I'm taking because everyone immediately commented about how rude the smog was, that it was like shock to the lungs, like the second that you got off the plane. So kind of took this U-turn in this elegy.
Ah! What?
Where are you?
I'm in here being stabbed with a fork.
Oh, really?
What? Just keep going. It was interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. What's my article about?
What? This one?
Mm-hmm.
It's about, you know, the lost city of Bangkok. Not of Bangkok. Lost city near Bangkok. In or about the city limits of Bangkok.
Wow.
All right, I'm sorry.
No, it was valiant.
I was in the
really
ballpark, right?
In a different state, but yeah, you were in a ballpark. Jameson asked you about that Malaysia job again.
Jameson always asks me about the Malaysia job.
Look, Nate, I really think that you should take it.
You know what? I don't want it. Really. I mean, he doesn't have the permits. And we agreed we're not going to take that kind of work anymore. It's just not worth it.
It doesn't sound that risky. All right? If it's just a permit.
No way.
You could call Sullivan. You haven't seen him in,
Elena,
what, 2 years?
Well, could we please drop this?
Okay, I just don't want you to not take it because of me.
I'm not taking it because of me, okay? I appreciate the gesture. It's just...
I'm gonna go ahead and do the dishes.
Stop, I'll do them. No,
You did them last night.
No, you cooked. I cleaned. It's fine. I mean, at least, let me try to earn it or something. Let me play you for it.
You'll play me for it?
Yeah, your little TV game thing. I bet I can beat your high score.
You think that you can beat my high score on my TV game thing?
Yeah, I think you're scared now.
You don't even know what it's called.
I don't need to know what it's called. I've seen you play. It's
Right.
jumping and running, and I have a natural talent for that.
really?
So, what do you say? Chicken? Is it a bet?
Oh, wow. Okay, cowboy. Learning all right.
Is this it?
No, it has to load.
Load?
Yes.
This is taking a really long time.
You have no patience.
When you turn something on, you expect it to... Okay, here we go. Crash Bandicoot.
Is there a problem?
No, just, how do you make it go?
Push the start button.
I knew that.
All right.
I got it.
Okay, so you want to run towards the camera.
Run to the camera. Got it.
Yeah, or press X to jump.
Got it.
You'll want to jump over all the pits and the obstacles.
Come on, that's like my thing.
Okay, run away from the boulder.
Why is the boulder chasing me?
Just run away from it.
I did nothing to this boulder.
Use your spin attack.
That wasn't not too bad.
What is that thing, a fox?
A bandicoot.
Looks like a fox. It's like a fox in jeans.
Okay, smash the boxes.
Why is a fox smashing crates?
Bandicoot, and it's what he does.
It's a fox, and it's not very realistic.
Perfect.
By the way, foxes can't do this.
It's a bandicoot.
That doesn't look anything like a bandicoot.
Have you ever seen a bandicoot?
No, but I'm sure they don't wear sneakers.
Okay, grab the fruit.
What does the fruit do?
100 gives you an extra life.
100? Who's got time to pick 100 pieces of fruit?
Oh, what happened?
You fell in the pit.
I know. How do I climb back out?
You're dead.
Well, that's not realistic. I would have climbed back out. He should learn to climb. Climbing's always helped me.
Watch that pit.
I watched it. These graphics are pretty good, aren't they? Why is he stealing all this fruit? Foxes do not need fruit.
He's not stealing, he's collecting.
Well, it's not his, and that's called stealing.
Yeah, well, you would know.
What's that?
Nothing.
Talking smack again.
Stay focused. Okay, good.
What? Is that it?
You asked for it.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I practically had it.
You can give it another shot. Come on, double or nothing. My car could really use a good cleaning.
Really? You gonna start the smack talk
There's
now?
this mode called easy mode. I just switch it. Wow. It's way easier on
No, just
easy
keep
mode.
talking. Keep talking.
What are you gonna do?
I'm warning
What are
you.
you gonna do?
I'm warning you.
In real life, what
Hey,
can you do?
I'm
Show
telling
me.
you.
What can you
I'm
do
telling
in
you.
real life?
What do you think about that?
Hey, are you happy?
Yeah, of course. You? Really?
Come here.
We're not open yet. We're closed. Come on, man. All right, I'm coming. Coming. Asshole. Yeah, can I help you?
Yeah, I'm, looking for my little brother. It's about your height, a little bit leaner. Definitely less gray in the temples.
Sam?
It's good to see you again, Nathan.
God, Sam.
Oh, all right. Take it easy, take it easy.
How? How? I thought you... I saw you get shot.
Yes, you did. Right there. Doctors, they patched me up and they tossed me right back into the cell.
Yeah, but I made calls. I checked everywhere. Everything I heard, everything I found, it all confirmed you were dead.
Well, Nathan, we killed a guard. Okay, so they wanted to see me rot in that cell for the rest of my life, and I nearly did.
Jesus, Sam, Man, if I had known, I swear to you, I would have come out.
You would have come back. I know, Nathan. I know. What's important now, though, is that I'm out. Hey, you still with me?
Need some air.
You're not gonna pass out on me or nothing, are you?
I just might. It's a lot to digest, you know? But how did you get out? When did you get out? How'd you even get here? Find me?
All right. Slow down. Okay? Have a seat. I want to hear about you. Huh?
Me?
Yeah.
What's to tell?
Well, call some of your old contacts. Tell me some pretty crazy-ass stories.
These were crazy stories.
Got shot, hanging from a derailed train in the Himalayas.
Yeah, that actually happened.
Come on, man. What did I miss?
Jeez, Sam, where do I start?
Start with the best part.
Okay, do you remember the theory that we had that Sir Francis Drake faked his own death?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, he did. I found the coffin.
Off the coast of Panama?
Yeah.
All right, now get this. Okay, I open it up, right? And there's no body, but the bottom is his old journal.
Are you shitting me?
I mean, what can I say? Another lost city destroyed, and we made it out alive. Barely.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I wish you could have been there.
No, it's literally unbelievable. You tell me you stumble upon yet another archaeological gold mine, and somehow you manage to walk away with nothing.
Yeah, well, it's a story of my life, I guess. But, you know, I managed to grab a few trinkets here and there. Paid off the car, the house, engagement ring, the engagement ring. I'm married. I can't believe... Elena from the stories, that's my wife. You gotta come meet her. Tonight, dinner, at my place. You're coming to dinner. I can tell her all about you. Shit, I gotta tell her all about you.
Nathan, I'm in a lot of trouble here.
What? What are you talking about? What kind of trouble?
Does the name Hector Alcazar ring a bell with you?
Yeah, he's the drug lord. Butcher of Panama, right? Why?
It's a funny story, but last year he was my cellmate. So this is how I got out of prison. Well, you're not reading tonight?
Samuel, come here. Listen. The guards, they're singing.
Well, they're probably drunk.
Perhaps. But they are content. How can they be content with their small lives? Their miserable jobs?
Well, I mean, they have wives to go home to. What do we got? Huh? No offense.
We have ambition.
Oh.
And when we get out of here, that ambition will take us to places these idiots cannot even imagine.
Yeah, well, amen to your optimism.
What will you do when you get out, Samuel?
That's if I get out of here. I'm sure you can imagine.
I can. But I want to hear you say it.
I will find the greatest pirate treasure of all time, which I am sure you are sick of hearing about by now.
Oh, no. The tale of Henry Avery and his 400 million in jewels and gold has become a sweet lullaby for me. Do you really think you can find it?
Given the opportunity? Absolutely.
Ambition. What is that Avery quote?
I am a man of fortune, and I must seek my fortune.
I like how he thinks.
The hell was that?
The opportunity of a lifetime.
Señor Alcázar, un gusto verlo.
Sáqueme de aquí.
Oh.
¿Qué hacemos con él?
Samuel, are you ready to seek your fortune?
Yeah.
Vámonos.
Holy shit.
Los demás están en posición.
Nobody cares if you're smoking indoors.
It's been a while.
Too long, boyo.
You remember my dead brother, right? Victor?
I'll be goddamned. 15 years.
Yep.
Good to see you alive, Sam.
Let's try keeping him alive by getting this cross, huh?
Yeah, about that.
What about that?
Come on, let me show you something. Take a look.
That's Avery's cross.
They brought it out of storage just before you guys got here.
They changed the lot order.
Take a whole pile of cash to make that happen.
All right, well, how long before they start the bidding?
10, 15 minutes tops.
Well, there's got to be some way we can grab it.
There is just a small matter of a few hundred eyewitnesses down there.
Okay, but we just need a diversion.
Like?
Like I don't know. But there's got to be something.
Well, if the guards see us making for that cross...
If they don't see us. Jesus, you guys act like you never spend time in prison. If you want something dirty done, then you wait for lights out.
Yeah.
Where's that electrical panel for this place?
There's ventilation. Electrical. That's it up here. So we just have to climb up there and kill the lights.
Grab the cross in the dark.
There will be an emergency generator.
And that'll give us a few seconds of darkness to work with.
Meaning we'll have to be right next to the cross when the lights go out.
So there's no way we can get that close without being noticed.
Scusate, signora. Antipasti?
I'm all set.
Hi. How are you?
Ciao.
Would you focus?
The waiter wouldn't get noticed.
That could work.
Huh?
That will work. All right. All right, I'll get to the breaker room, kill the power.
You mean I'm the waiter?
You're the best pickpocket.
What?
You head down to the floor, keep your eye on the prize, okay? Let us know if anything, hinky goes down.
Roger that.
All right. Listen, we still got this. Ready?
Ready.
All right, follow me. We'll cut through the cellar.
Gotta say, Victor, the years have been kind to you.
Thanks. I chuck it up to go on vegan.
Excuse me.
Really?
You're kidding me. Hell no.
I refuse to bid.
Upon return, I begin the bidding on several items in the state of Nicolas store. In the meantime, I've got...
You see, I thought I had a reasonable grasp of French, or at least a passable French accent. But then a few months back, I'm with my girlfriend by the Pompidou Center. I've just sold them those pieces we obtained last year. You know, those hanging ball thing. I don't know, abstract art shit. Anyway, we walk out past that giant ice bag. What is that thing, anyway?
Cellar's just through there. Let's go.
This place is fancy. Of course they play douchey European techno. Mi dispiace. Pardon me?
Here we are.
Hey, let's do this. Hell, it's locked.
Shit, it was open earlier.
Now what? Can we pick it?
No, it's electronic.
We're gonna have to find another way in.
You see that?
Key card, back left pocket.
Yep.
I'm on it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You sure you want to do that? I mean, there's a lot of eyes out here.
I think I can handle a simple lift.
All right. Oh, real smooth.
I'm not even trying yet.
Yeah, I can tell. Oh, so close.
Shit.
You, need some pointers?
Just warming up, that's all.
Okay. What do you say we just run it like the old days, okay? I do the interference, you make the grab, right?
Yeah, good. Go.
Reparto acquisizione. Spero di trovare qualche pezzo interessante. Certo, non lo so.
Oh, real smooth.
I'm not even trying yet.
Yeah, I can tell.